Hello, Algebra 1. Today we are looking at Unit 7, Lesson 3, which is solving quadratic equations by reasoning. So example 1, how many solutions does each equation have and what are they? So number 1, we're looking at the equation in red on the top. So x squared equals 9. So what squared equals 9? We could have positive or negative 3, because if we have a negative times a negative, it's still going to be positive. So then the next one in yellow, x squared equals 0. What squared equals 0? That would be 0, so there's one solution. Then the next one, number 3 in blue, x squared minus 1 equals 3. Well, if we do 2 squared minus 1, we get 3, and then if we do negative 2 squared minus 1, we still get 3, so there's two solutions there. And then number 4 in green, 2x squared equals 50. If we do 2 times 5 squared, that equals 50, and then 2 times negative 5 squared, that still gives us 50. So there are also two solutions for that one. Number 5, x plus 1 times x plus 1 equals 0. If we do negative 1 plus 1 times negative 1 plus 1, that would give us 0 times 0, which is 0. So there's one solution, and that is negative 1. Number 6 in black, if we do 0 times 0 minus 6, that gives us 0. And then if we do 6 times 6 minus 6, which 6 minus 6 is 0. So 6 times 0 equals 0, so there's two solutions there. And then number 7 in red again. If we do 3 minus 1 times 3 minus 1, that gives us 2 times 2, which is 4. And then if we do negative 1 minus 1 times negative 1 minus 1, that gives us negative 2 times negative 2. And when you multiply two positives, that gives us, or two negatives, that gives us a positive. So that would also give us 4. So there are two solutions for that one. Looking at example 2, each of these equations has two solutions. What are they? So number 1 is in red. So n squared plus 4 equals 404. So if we do 20 squared, we get 400 plus 4 equals 404. Or if we do negative 20 squared, that will still give us 400 plus 4, which is 404. So the answer for that one is plus or minus 20. Number 2, 432 equals 3n squared. This is in blue. So if we do 3 times 12 squared, we get 3 times 144, which gives us 432. And the same goes for if you put a negative in there, it's still going to give you 144, so the answer is plus or minus 12. Number 3, in green, if we do 144 equals 11 plus 1 squared, that would be 12 squared, so 144, and that checks off. And then negative 13 plus 1 gives us negative 12. And a negative times a negative is still a positive, and so that works also. So it would be negative 11 and, or positive 11 and negative 13 for that one. And then number 4 in purple, if we do 15 minus 5 squared, that gives us 10 squared, which is 100, minus 30 equals 70. And then if we do negative 5 minus 5 squared, that still gives us 100 because that would be negative 10. And then that minus 30 equals 70, so that works also. So the answer would be 15 and negative 5. So here is just a little summary of what we just went over. So if we wanted to solve 3 times x plus 1 squared minus 75 equals 0, we can do it just like this. So add 75 to each side, and then divide by 3 in this step. And then what number can be squared to get 25? Well, 5 times 5 is 25, But then, since we aren't looking at the plus 1, if we do 5 and negative 5, then if x plus 1 equals 5, then our x would be 4. And if x plus 1 equals negative 5, then our x would be negative 6. So this means that both the x equals 4 and x equals negative 6 make the equation true and are both solutions to the equation.